Just when I thought Antifa could not get any stupider, they go and do something like this, protesting a trash cleanup. Many of you may be familiar with Scott Presler. He's a conservative activist, Trump supporter, and guess what he does? He goes and he cleans up trash. That's basically it. He shows up to cities where there's messes and he cleans up the garbage, along with many volunteers and supporters. And that's about it. That's kind of awesome, rad. Anybody who wants to help the environment, clean things up and do the right thing, you'll have my respect and support. For some reason, media individuals, I guess because the media is infected with insane fringe leftist protesters who have no idea what they're talking about, the media has actually smeared Scott Presler, trying to imply nefarious motives as to why he's actually cleaning up trash in cities. Sorry, man. Let me tell you something. As I love saying, whenever a story about Presler comes up, if somebody like Scott or anybody wants to go clean up trash, okay, maybe not anybody, but if someone like, a Trump supporter, fine. If they're going to go clean up trash to make Trump supporters look good, it works. Sorry, that's just a fact. He's literally cleaning up like dump sites and litter and pollution. I mean, that's a good thing. You can look all day and night at these left-wing activists who preach about the environment, but how many of them are actually going to go out and clean things up? Now, here's the best part. There's two stories here. The first, Antifa actually protested a trash cleanup hosted by Scott Presler, which is just insane. And here's the best part. A couple days ago, when Presler did another trash cleanup, I believe this one was in Oregon, they actually tried insinuating the purpose of the trash cleanup was to make, dare I say, this is their words, not mine, brown people look bad. I'm not kidding. They're arguing that because Scott Presler showed up to a city with a bunch of volunteers and started cleaning things up, the intent was to paint brown people as inherently dirty. When did any of them say anything like this? This is just so insane. I'll tell you what the real propaganda is. If you think that, or I'll tell you this. If all he has to do is go out and clean up and you're going to write psychotic articles about this, man, I tell you what, that's 10 times the propaganda power that a garbage cleanup could ever accomplish. Like, imagine someone walking up like, hey, we've just cleaned up your neighborhood. Here you go. And then someone walks by and calls that person like a far right, anti-immigration, whatever. And you're going to be like, I don't know why you're yelling at them. Check this out. This is from Elijah Schaefer. Quote, why is Antifa protesting a trash cleanup? Good question, Scott Presler. Radical left-wing protesters accidentally mistook the San Francisco trash cleanup as a homeless removal campaign. While volunteers cleaned the city, protesters called them racists and fascists. So we have this video. Basically what Scott did, I think this is from San Francisco. He was actually talking to homeless people and asking them how they felt about, the laws they pass in San Francisco that help illegal immigrants when they're not taking care of the homeless. And surprise, surprise, yeah, the homeless people were kind of upset about how they do that. Because it doesn't make sense, does it? But let's move on. I want to show you this. So this is what Scott Presler tweeted. This is just from the other day. He said, Mom and Dad, you taught me to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. You encouraged me to become an Eagle Scout. Today, your son was protested for picking up trash on the streets of San Francisco. You also taught me to never give up. And I promised promise not to stop leading with love. Scott, I got to tell you something. I think I figured it out. They want their trash. You see, think about it. There's human waste all over the streets of San Francisco. They hire the poop patrol. I'm not kidding. Literally, it's a department that goes and cleans up poop. There's needles and trash everywhere. And I think the problem is us outsiders see that and we say, that's gross. And, people complain about it. But that was an assumption on our part. We assumed they don't like trash either. Well, sure enough, if you come and try and take that garbage city, and clean the garbage, take the garbage away from it, they get mad because you're taking away their garbage. See, they like their garbage city. That's why they're protesting you. Okay, not really. I'm joking. But isn't it kind of funny? Like, what assumption should I make when you're like taking garbage and they're like, get out of here, you racist fascists? Like, okay, you can keep the garbage. I didn't know you wanted it that much. Is that really what it's about? But so that's the gist of what we saw with their San Francisco cleanup. But let me get to the absolutely, I cannot believe this story, man. I absolutely can't believe this. And lo and behold, every time Scott Presler does one of these cleanups, someone's got to smear the guy. How crazy is this, okay? That instead of going out and cleaning things up or having a contest like who can clean up the most, they're like, we're not going to clean up the trash. We're not going to pass laws to help the homeless. We're not going to hire someone to even clean it up. No, we're going to do nothing. But if someone else comes, we're going to write really, really bad things about them. How do you get anything done if that's the case? You actually have people coming out to help, and the media is smearing them, and Antifa is literally protesting it. Okay, man, let them have their garbage cities, I guess. Check this out. This is from Willamette Week on the 29th. An Oregon trash pickup is part of a conservative campaign to make liberal cities look like garbage dumps. It was broadcast on social media by its orchestrator, a traveling conservative activist named Scott Ryan Presler. First of all, no one needs to make your town look like garbage dumps when they're literally garbage dumps. If you got a problem with someone pointing out that you got crap on your boot, maybe you should wash it off instead of waiting for someone else to wash it off for you and then getting mad when they do. First of all, and secondly, how can you make that leap to say that that's his intention? I can't read his mind. All I know is the dude's cleaning up trash. I'll tell you what, this is what I always say. If his intent is to make these cities look bad, well, he didn't put the garbage there, dude. The people in your city did. So him cleaning it up, surprise, it does make Trump supporters look good. And when you smear him for doing it, it doesn't make him look bad. It makes you look bad even more. I kid you not. You are going to laugh when you see what I'm about to read you. Check this out. Quote, "Guys, I found another needle," shouted a woman wearing an Oregon Women for Trump t-shirt. She picked up the syringe with her grabber and held it in front of her cell phone for a photo. She was one of 50 people searching for trash January 25th in a football field-sized grassy lot adjacent to the Days Inn in Salem. The scent of fried chicken from a nearby Denny's hung in the air. I don't know why you had to tell me about the fried chicken. That's very strange. But I'll do this. I have to interject very quickly. I absolutely detest these journalists who wanted to be novelists, I guess. So they end up writing articles that are just they have nothing to do with anything. It's the story. Instead of being today a group of activists came and did X, Y, and Z and picked up 10 tons of trash, it's like a dark night in a field the size of a football with fried chicken scent in the air. I looked to my left. Trump supporters. Terrified, I said, "Oh no, the fascists are here." They always write a novel, And I think it's really funny too, because if you've ever done a Google search for a recipe, there's a meme going around recently where it was basically every time you Google search a recipe, you get a 500 word essay on how the recipe comes from the ancient Nordic lands in Scandinavia. And you're like, I don't care, dude. Tell me how many eggs I need. And that's exactly how I feel reading this stuff. Thank you for letting me know that you could smell fried chicken. I'm not sure how that's going to help me understand your story, but I digress. I got to get to the best part. When they explain exactly why Presler did it. But let's read. They say, from afar, the group looked as if it might be performing court-mandated community service. In fact, it was political theater, part of a campaign to prove homeless camping had turned Oregon into a garbage dump. But it did. There's literally camps all over these cities that Presler goes to. So what do you think? Do you think he's hiring a production company to come down and put the camps in the trash there and then go and film it and go, "Oh heavens, look at the trash"? No, he literally goes to your city and says, "Oh heavens, look at the trash." It was there before he got there. If anyone's at fault, it's not him for cleaning it up. It's your cities for not dealing with the problem. And now you're mad that someone's basically pointing it out and fixing it for you? That is absolutely insane. The best they can do instead of actually cleaning it up is complain that someone might look good from doing it. The trash pickup was being broadcast on social media by its orchestrator, a traveling conservative activist named Scott Ryan Presler. Oregon legalized needles and banned plastic straws, Presler wrote on Twitter, alongside video of a syringe. Something is seriously wrong here. The system is broken. He's not wrong. Look, I understand why they legalized, syringes. But how are you going to ban plastic straws when the U.S. does not contribute that much plastic waste relative to these other countries? Cigarette butts are a much bigger problem and no one's banning them. Okay. And so how does that make sense? Now, the legalization of syringes is in my opinion, does make sense to a certain degree. you're trying to reduce the amount of needle sharing and dirty needles and stuff. But in the end, you like the point is basically, I can understand why there's different issues, but why are you banning plastic straws when you're still going to be producing more plastic garbage? And why aren't you dealing with the bigger problem of, say, cigarette butts? The plastic straw ban is just nonsense. Let's read. Pressler, 31, is a member of Gays for Trump. He addresses people as sir and ma'am and wears his wavy brown hair long. The activist from Northern Virginia once worked for Act for America, which the Southern Poverty Law Center describes as an extremist anti-Muslim organization. He organized a march against Sharia and landed a guest spot on the Fox News program Tucker Carlson Tonight last October. Let's just get right to it. Let me not waste any more of your time. Randy Blazek, a Portland consultant who studies extremist movements, says right-wing groups have long used beautification projects as a form of publicity. Quote, the rhetoric is, there are these evil forces that are making society ugly. The quote from him is basically that minority crime or brown immigration. Blazek says, the narrative is, they say, okay, this is I gotta be very careful. They're accusing Scott Pressler of claiming it's not white people. They say it's about brown people and immigration. So the reason why I'm not going to read this quote is because I know how they're going to take it out of context. But let me play this game. Randy Blazek just said, and I quote, I can't read the quote. I'm not going to do it. Randy Blazek says that it's not white people who made the world an ugly place. You see how the game is played? So based on what they're already doing to Scott Pressler, and look at this photo. Look at these smiling, happy people just like walking around with a wheelbarrow picking up trash. And look what they write about them. That's why you got to be careful with the media. Willamette Week lied about me before, like ridiculous narrative twisting, and they had to like take out some words and like change it when I actually made a phone call and said, if you don't change this, and they're like, oh no. They made some accusations that were false. So you can see what they'll do. They'll take, if you read someone's quote, they will clip it so it sounds like you saying it. Randy Blazek just said it. But no, let's be real for a second. He just insinuated, okay, and they insinuated by putting in the article, which is insane, that the attempt by Pressler is to make brown people look bad, is to claim that white people, are not, committing these things or doing these things. That's what they're trying to insinuate. That's how insane these far left Antifa types really are. They don't know what they're protesting. They really, really don't. As exemplified by what we saw the other day at Grand Central, when a bunch of Antifa started screeching at essentially anarchist, journalist Luke Rudkowski, who literally makes anti-Trump videos. And they're calling him a fascist because they don't know who he is. As exemplified by them showing up to a trash cleanup and protesting, calling them racists and fascists for picking up garbage. Then they write an article about, the article came before, but this is total absurdity. You know what it is? I gotta tell you, man. I know I was joking. I was being facetious when I said they want their garbage. No, they really do want their garbage. And I mean it. You know why? They need a problem only they can solve. So they can go on TV, so they can run these ads and say, look how bad this problem is. Don't worry, we can fix it. And they don't, because they need to make sure that problem exists so that you keep voting for them. When someone like Scott shows up unprompted and starts cleaning things up, he's taking away their leverage. So naturally, they're going to get angry. Now, I don't think it's a conspiracy or anything like that, but it is true. If the garbage goes away, what are they going to campaign on? How are they going to claim the poor are being disenfranchised? How are they going to claim that you need our help to save the environment? Look at this trash. Oh, what's that? A dude literally showed up and just picked up all the trash? Well, now what? Now what do you campaign on? That's why I think they don't want to solve the problems. I really don't. They need the problems to convince you they should be in power. They say Pressler's visit touched a sore spot for Oregonians. The state ranks 4th nationally in the rate of people sleeping outdoors, a point of embarrassment and frustration for residents across the political spectrum. Pressler's event shows how right-wing media tactics are evolving and how they seek to weaponize Oregon's homelessness crisis, much as they made Portland's anti-fascist protesters into a recurring feature on Fox News. Pressler said his visit was innocent and bipartisan. I think one thing we can agree with is nobody should have to live in an area with trash, Pressler told Willamette Week during the event. If my coming to town is an act of love to pick up trash provokes people, I think that says something about their character, not mine. Yep. But it was clear from the event's invitation sent by Oregon Women for Trump that organizers intended to annoy the left. Quote, Scott is known for going into the most infested parts of the country and cleaning up tons of homeless camp garbage. The Eventbrite description read, Oregon Women for Trump is proud to be able to help him accomplish this in the Portland area. And you're upset that he's pointing out that you have trash all over your city? Maybe you should clean up your trash. In fact, the trash pickup was supposed to happen in downtown Portland. Pressler moved the location to Salem the morning of the event. Explanations for the venue change varied. Some attendees told Willamette Week the city had deep cleaned downtown Friday night in anticipation of Pressler's appearance, leaving nothing for them to clean up. Pressler said the location was moved after he learned Antifa planned to counter-protest. I think the Antifa story probably makes sense. I think both actually make sense, are both probably true. Because Pressler has gone out and done other events not, cleaning up. Portland's Old Town did look unusually spiffy last weekend, but city officials said it was unrelated to Pressler's visit. It is unclear whether anti-fascists did, in fact, threaten to show up at the event. Anti-fascist group Rose City Antifa tweeted extensively prior to Pressler's visit, but did not indicate any plans to protest the cleanup. Well, let me just show you that, they, at least in San Francisco, they literally did protest. And this is the most dangerous thing to me. These activists are not real. You know how I know? Because I used to work for nonprofits doing environmentalist, action and stuff. And even many of those people are not real. They don't actually care. You look at someone like Greta Thunberg. Do you think she cares? If she did, she'd be talking about India and China, not just the United States. But she doesn't talk about China at all. And she also doesn't, it's also obvious she doesn't care when she says she wants to shut down fossil fuels. Her quote was something like, we won't wait to 2050, we won't wait to 2030, or even 2021, we want it done now. If we cut off fossil fuels right now, millions, tens of millions would die. They don't really care. It's not real. As exemplified by finally the people who stood up to go clean up were not Antifa. It was Scott Pressler and a bunch of Trump supporters going out and doing it. Now, look, I get it. He does go out and film. They wear their Trump shirts. They fly their banners. It does make Trump supporters look good when they're going out and cleaning up. But how insane does it make the left look when they protest it or write smear pieces about it? Sorry, you look insane. Average Americans don't care. They really, really don't. Look, I've talked to a ton of people, and maybe it's just my area, because it varies. You go to New York City, probably everyone hates Trump. But I find regular working class people are like, I don't know or care. Don't know or care. My liberal friends, my left-wing friends I grew up with are like, oh, I don't know. And I went to a skate park once and I asked people about this. Like, if you saw a bunch of people with like Trump flags and like hats, what would you think? And they were like, I don't know, nothing. What? And I'm like, would you go talk to them? Would you walk past them? I wouldn't care. I'm like, huh. I said, what if you saw a bunch of people wearing, like black masks, all black, carrying crowbars and bats, and they were like chanting and marching around smashing things? They'd be like, yeah, I'd avoid that. So here you have it. A group of people cleaning up. The average person, even in Los Angeles, that's where I did a bunch of interviews with skateboarders, are going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, that's cool, man. They probably might even join in and help. But then you get these fringe left wackos show up protesting, and regular people are going to see that and be like, these people are absolutely insane. So I don't know what they're thinking, but I'll tell you this. From a PR standpoint, the smartest thing these left-wing activists could do is clean with them, or actually try and clean more. Make it a competition, and then everyone looks better. Instead, they try to smear those doing good. You know what? If it is a campaign to make Antifa look bad or the left look bad, congratulations, you helped make it. You helped make that campaign, because you could do nothing. You could literally just not show up and not talk about it. Instead, you do, and you say insane things. So I'll wrap it up there. You get the point. I look forward to seeing more from Pressler because I like the fact he's cleaning up. You know why? Because I actually care about the environment. I don't care if he's doing it to make Trump look good. Congratulations. It does make Trump supporters look good. But whatever. My concern is when I go outside, do I see trash everywhere? Littering is gross and people do this. I don't care who's going up and cleaning. I'm glad you're going to do it. Okay. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then.